Right, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to VP4 TV. Welcome to everybody that I've missed so far. Bill, Dwight, Spud Boy, Town Crier, who I've forgotten who they are again. Is that Liberty? I can't remember. Good afternoon to Cobra, and anybody else I've missed. Give me a confirmation that you can hear me okay. Good. Welcome to Slim. It's been a day or two since we've had a match. Let's have a look at the bracket, or not the bracket, the schedule. We've got the match coming up now, which I think is a round 3 match, is it? Is it round 2 or round 3? Where are we here? Yeah, it's a round 3 match between Interchangex from the States and the one and only Scot left in the tournament, Tornado Tam, due to go in about 3 minutes' time. Steve said he's going to be here, so I'll check in a minute, see if he's there in Discord. This match, and then we have Spud Boy against Tommy at 7:30 p.m. Those are the 2 matches today. We've then got the match tomorrow afternoon, and that's the one where it starts at 3 p.m. I finish my shift at 2 p.m. It'll take me approximately about 20 minutes going at a good speed to get home. I'll have to get something to eat. The last thing I'll have had to eat before 3 p.m. will be my morning break about 9 o'clock, so I must get something to eat before that match, and I may well miss the start of it, but I guarantee that come hell or high water I should be there for most of it. Maybe miss the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then later on we have at 5 p.m. on Monday afternoon GMT, after the Bill and Eddie match, we've got Jose against Slim. And finally, tell a lie, how many bloody matches we got on Monday? Well, that's one good thing. The one good thing is that Hervey and Bankster are at 6 p.m. And then we've got the one lost side. Well, they're both losers matches. We've got Crazy Cow, aka VP Monster, against Bedhead at Monday night at 7 p.m. Now, Hervey and Bankster, that's a match. We're going to have a big crossover here, basically. We've got Jose and Slim. We'll start with that. We'll have a look in at Hervey and Bankster, but then we're moving into Crazy Cow and Bedhead. So, depending on how the matches are going, will depend and decide whether we stay with one or move to another. So that's basically that. Quick tab out. Hang on a minute. Welcome to Steve. Good afternoon.
Or I guess it's afternoon for you.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 p.m, so it's 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Yep. Now, has Tam arrived in the lobby yet? Because I can't see the chat because of all the chat in front of the chat.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
He is in the lobby.
Right, good. So we've got a match on because Interchangex has been in doing a bit of practice. So
the room's up.
We'll get ourselves in.
So what do you think of this one?
Well, I don't think Tam will change his pace, and when me and him play, we live or die by the fact we play daft shots. If Interchangex is on any reasonable form and scores, that will put the pressure on Tam. It just depends who settles first and who gets in, but maybe the slight favourite in consistency would be Interchangex.
How about those two lags?
Well, I don't know what the hell Tam's done with his mouse. He must be using... who the hell was missing? He must be using VP Monster's mouse because he couldn't
Stephen.
Couldn't get to the rail either.
Semi-pro. Or I should say good afternoon for most of you guys.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
Well,
So,
I kind of agree with you that about what you said about this match. I think this match is going to depend more on how Interchangex plays than Tam. You know, we've seen Interchangex be brilliant, and then we've seen him, you know, just look terrible. So it's hard to say what he's going to bring.
well, Tam can be like that as well because he will be going for his shots. He won't be as, I mean, you won't see this sort of, well, I'm not expecting to see this cautious play from Tam. He likes to go on with it and go for shots, so he'll pay the price for that. He'll probably scratch a good few times.
Well, there is nothing wrong with being aggressive as long as you can execute it. I mean, one pocket's the game where you see that, you know, that's pretty much the classic game for seeing, you know, aggressiveness versus cautious, because you can play super cautious, you can play defensive all the time, and you can beat a lot of lower level players like that. But to beat higher level players, you have to take some level of risks. And then there's guys like a Tony Chohan that shoot shots where you're going, really, you're really shooting that shot. But here's the thing: is you can shoot anything as long as you can execute.
Mm-hmm.
Especially protecting the cue ball. It doesn't matter. You can be as aggressive as you want. The place players get into trouble is when they're really aggressive and they can't execute those shots. They don't have the skill level to execute those shots, and then it's usually a disaster.
Well, Tam's first visit, only 5. Missed a post following the one ball there, only by a hair's breadth, but that's usually enough.
Somebody's talking about first place in the league, which was, yeah, you know, I mean, that was really nice.
Well,
I'd also like to congratulate Semi for having the highest match win percentage. And I'd also like to give him the Crybaby Award for the league for crying about his rating so much and then ending up on top.
yeah. And I like to congratulate my team because we had 3 wins, albeit by default, the last one. So we had a decent enough finish, but we were stitched up good and proper. Although we lost it midway through the tournament though, or the league season. We lost it anyway with the amount of losses we had. But
yeah, your team finished strong. I mean, that was, you know, it's something you can build on. Of course, knowing you'll probably rebuild the whole team and have completely different players next time.
Oh, I don't I don't know whether they'll get the stomach for it. There we go.
Well, that was a little unlucky.
Well, Tam's got the 5 out the kitchen, so at least he's got a start.
You had to hit that 5 ball just perfect to go across and scratch. That said, you know, you've always got the option as a player of hitting it a little easier. Now, I think hitting it easier, he was going to have to draw the cue ball a little more, but he could have done that.
Even that shot there by Tam, I mean, I always make sure that I'm up the top side of the 3 to give me 2 choices. Tam fell short of the 3, ended up not a great, perfect angle for the carom onto the 1, and he missed again. And again, a contribution of 5, so 2 visits and only 10 points to show for it. And he's got to capitalise on errors like that and put something on the board if he's going to compete. Welcome, Brain Pull Out.
Well, Cobra is predicting 3-1 to Tam, which...
Well, the first couple of visits, I won't be predicting that. Tam hasn't been in doing anything, so he's going to take his time to warm up. I'm pretty certain he'll settle down a bit and do something.
Hard to predict these matches when you have Jekyll and Hyde player like Interchangex. I mean, yeah.
I don't think Interchangex played all that great in his last match. Who was it he played again?
Oh, he didn't. He played very poorly.
Who was he playing? I can't even remember. It was that long ago, about 3 days ago. Who was he playing? Oh, it was Fast Eddie. Aye, it was Eddie. That was a depressing match to watch. Yeah, neither of them were good.
Eddie played poorly too. Yeah, it was. But I mean, I certainly myself know what it's like to be Jekyll and Hyde. I can do that in pool. I can do it in golf. It's like a box of chocolates,
We can do it in life in general. Well, this is going to be tough. He's looking at the one there. I thought for a second he was playing the thin cut in the one.
I don't know why you do that. I don't know why he just wouldn't shoot the 5. I think he's trying to figure out where he wants to get for the carom. I think all he has to do is shoot the 5 and let the cue ball come down here, and then he plays the 5 to the 3. I don't know what he's doing shooting this 1 ball. I mean, this makes no sense.
Nail to the rail from where I'm looking.
Yeah, this is a crazy shot to shoot at. Why not just make the 5, let the cue ball come down to this end of the table? It's not that hard to carom.
Well, he's
trying to leave the 5 and 3 together, and watch this. Watch it roll right up on the 1.
Yeah. I think he's got away with it.
Yeah, he got away with it.
Big stun. Is he going to stun behind here, though?
That was just a crazy shot. I mean, I can understand trying to set up the carom, but not at
there you go. There you go. Commentator's eye in behind, hit the back of the 3, scratch.
Well, the thing is you didn't need to hit it that hard. I mean, you got to learn how to spin the ball over more gently. And I know guys try that and miss it sometimes, but that's just crazy hitting it like that.
Yeah, you've probably got to try and hit that. When you hit the 5, you're probably trying to hit that middle diamond so the ball comes out and catches the 3 rather than getting right into the cue ball and doing the obvious error is going along the rail, bumping the back of the 3, and then you're always going to scratch.
Yeah, if I had to say one thing that I see good players in VP4 do wrong pretty consistently is not understanding how to control multiple balls. How to, I mean, if you play one pocket, you learn that a lot. And that's one of the reasons why guys don't play safe as good as I think they should playing games like 9 or 10 ball, because if you're good at controlling 2 balls, then you're going to be really good at playing safe. And this kind of game it's a huge advantage if you control all the balls that you have moving, which is normally 2. It could be 3.
Well, this should be gentle.
Yeah.
Well, possibly. I presume he couldn't see enough of the 3 to pot it. He's going to flick the 5 though. He'll take that.
Yeah, but again, hitting it that hard, I mean, you're just asking to lose points hitting it at those speeds. I'm not saying the time never comes up when you should. Yeah, see, like that's a really good shot. He's playing off the rail, a reasonable pace. He's using English to open it up. I mean, I see that shot and I'm like, wow, he's good. And then I see the other shot. I'm like, what's he doing? Now, obviously, I don't play Cowboy, but I mean,
well, this isn't
it's
great.
obvious to me that hitting the ball at those kind of speeds you're bringing a lot of luck into play. Is this what you're talking about, Hugh? Said he needs to get lucky to keep his points.
Yeah. Well, at least he's kept his points this time. But
so far,
he got himself way out of shape there in that last shot.
So far, he keeps letting the cue ball loose like this. He's not going to keep them.
Well, he'll keep doing it. Again, it's always it can be when me and Tam play. It can be spectacular, but most of the time it's spectacular with a disaster at the end of it.
Yeah,
because we like to go on with it. We don't hang about. We just play our shots. So where's this cue ball going?
Watch out! Yeah, you missed the carom and almost scratched. It's like when you're breaking balls out, playing a game or 8-ball or straight pull, and you got a cluster of balls. If you're really good, you try to control the balls and know where they're going and knowing where your next shot is.
Well,
a lot of these guys just blast them and hope. You know,
well,
it's just not the right way.
Well, that's not necessarily the case in Tam's case. I mean, probably at Interchangex as well, is you're struggling to try and get the balls into a shape, and you'll see them begin to slow down and play the little soft touches to try and keep in line for the next pot. I mean, this position here, to me, had to stay low. I don't know why he's bumping into the 5 that way. If he stayed low, he'd have 1 to the 5.
Well, because that just saved his ass. He was on a pot there.
Oh, he got lucky.
He was on a pot and got lucky.
No, wait a minute. Tam's back at the table. Oh, no, that was Tam. I'm thinking it was Interchangex at the table.
The thing is, there's a time to hit it harder and take balls around the table and stuff, but you got to do it under control. Like, you know where the balls are going.
Yeah, well, Stubb would be banging balls. There's no doubt about it. He'd be banging balls. But he'd be banging balls probably to make more of the caroms. I don't think he'd be banging balls to pot. I think at the end of the day, Stubb would, being pretty much a rookie at Cowboy, be doing the same thing everybody does that's new to Cowboy. They're not following, to me, the basic rule, and the basic rule is always good for a beginner, and that's what I've talked about all the way through. Stay higher, above the 3, and stay below the 1. If you've got a chance to do that, and the ball's going to spot, then the chances are you're going to give yourself a shot at a carom. But Stubb would be banging for caroms all day long. Where's this going?
Out.
Here we go. Out. Oh, by the way, Steve, remember I said the other day there you never told us something in Cowboy? Remember I mentioned that? What was it I was mentioning?
I don't know.
That you'd done. Oh, the multiple games in Cowboy. And I discovered that you'd added the multiple games, the match games, to more than one in Cowboy match rooms. Well, the other thing you never told us, there's 2 things you never told us. Do you remember what the other one is that you never told us? Because I discovered that as well. I think the other guys did. You seem to have fixed the Cowboy ratings as well, in terms of if you play one game, the points are going up and down more rapid.
Yeah, well, it's going by game now instead of points. It's computing the rating differently.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Everything changed. Boy, that's tough. Well, let me ask you a question here. So, say you've got a shot, and you're just trying to pot a ball and move the cue ball someplace. So you're aware there's a lot of different ways you could do that, and I'm not talking about going forward or backward. I'm talking about like you're just coming off the side rail and drawing the ball back. There's a bunch of different Q-tip positions you could use to shoot that. There's not just one position. You could be more spin, low, less spin, low, more spin on the side. There's a whole area that you can hit the cue ball, and there's a bunch of different speeds you can hit the cue ball to get the ball to come back to the spot you want. So my question to you is where is the correct place to put your tip?
Where's the correct place to put the tip? In what instance? What am I trying to do?
All you're doing is shooting a ball in the corner pocket. Cue ball's coming off the long rail, and you're drawing it back to, let's say, the middle of the end rail. There's all kinds of places you could put the Q-tip and do that. So how do you know where the right spot to put the Q-tip is?
I think. I mean, if let me get my little doodle up on the screen. Hang on a minute.
You're gonna Google? You're gonna try to Google that?
No. Doodle, Steve. D as in dumb. Doodle, not Google.
I thought you said you were going to Google it. I was like, good luck on that question.
Right.
That might be one question you get no answers on Google.
There's a ball there. That's maybe a no. I don't like that one. Hang on a minute. Let me go.
You really have to draw this out. It's not that complicated a question.
Hang on a minute. Right, that's better. So there's a ball there.
I don't see anything on the screen. You don't have it turned on. There you go.
Right, so there's a ball there. That's the object ball there, and the cue ball is there. And we talked about bringing the ball back to here.
Bring the ball back to the end rail.
To where the yellow is at the moment. I would tend to just at that angle, I would tend to just maybe put a little bit of draw on it, just a tad, and
But that's not the question. I'm not asking you where you put your tip.
well, I thought you did.
No,
No,
what I
I
said,
thought you did.
what I said was there's lots of places you can put the Q-tip and get the ball back there. The question was, what place should you put it?
Well, there's lots of places you can put the Q-tip or the tip of the Q on the object on the cue ball, but where should you put the tip of the Q in the cue ball?
Yeah, it's a combination of where you put the tip and
simple answer
how
is
hard you stroke the cue. So there's combinations of those that'll get you that spot. What's the correct one?
well, the one that works.
I'm going to give you. I'm going to say that's the right answer, but I'm going to refine your answer.
Well, you see, instinctively, I would put a little bit of below the equator, and maybe a little bit of right. That's all I would do.
I'll tell you why that's not really the correct answer. The reason why that's not really the correct answer is because that makes you think if you put the tip in a position and you stroke the cue at certain hardness as it goes back there to that spot, that you played the shot correctly because it worked. And that's not necessarily true. The correct place to put your Q-tip is a place that gives you the most consistency to get back there. So if you shot that shot 100 times with all these different Q-tip placements and stroke speeds, which combination gives you the best percentage of getting back to, some defined area? And there's gonna be combinations that work better. And I'm bringing this up because this really is the most critical thing to becoming good at executing pool shots. Is you have to understand how to shoot them in a way that gives you your best chance for success. Mm-hmm. So it really relates to this game because, when I'm saying, oh, these guys are hitting this too hard or hitting this way or that way, what I'm really saying is they're not shooting the shot that gives them the best chance of success. Now, part of that may be untrue because maybe they don't understand how to hit the shot in a better way, and this is the only way they know how to hit it. But, I mean, given that these guys have played this game a long time, if this is where they're at, I'd say they need to practice more or play guys like Albin more. The reason why Albin is playing better than everybody is because he understands this basic principle of finding the best place to put the Q-tip and the stroke speed. He understands the best patterns, Now, Albin doesn't play perfect either, but he understands those things better than other players. That's why he's better than them.
Well, there's a shot I like to play.
And that's really the only reason why. I mean, there's plenty of guys that have enough talent in VP4 to play at the same level Albin does.
There's a shot I like to play quite a lot just to show off. The same thing. There's the object ball is there. That's the object ball. The cue ball's down here. You could stun that in and come back that way, but I tend to put top and left on it and bump it into the rail, depending on how much fizz you have on it, depends on how the line of the cue ball is going to go off the rail. So you'll go that way, and that way. And the reason I do that is because I play that quite a lot in Cowboy. But that should get you certainly down to the bottom rail. Whether it gets you into the centre of the bottom rail, that's a different matter.
Well, I mean, everybody has tendencies. And I'll say this about pool, and I see it a lot in real life, and I see it in VP some too, is players get comfortable with play a draw, and they tend to over-rely on it. I see this in real life all the time.
Yeah.
And players are always down below the cue ball.
It's an easy bailout in VP4. I mean, it's always an easy bailout. But to me, it's never drawn for position. It's never.
But a lot of
the best way of doing it.
A lot of it's a comfort thing. I see a lot of players that are like B-level players that are, and I'm not talking about B-level VP. I'm talking about B-level real life, which is more like a good A-level player in VP. and they've gotten to the point where they're a pretty good player and they run out a fair amount. But why aren't they getting better? Well, one of the reasons why is because they like to go low on the cue ball. It's a habit. They're comfortable with it.
It's a habit, yeah.
So, but the problem is that sometimes that's not the right way to shoot the shot. So it causes them problems.
Well, there's
and
Spud
it's the
Boy.
same thing on VP. You get comfortable shooting balls a certain way, and that's what you like to do. But you got to look at your game and go, well, is this holding me back?
Spud Boy.
Why didn't Albin shoot it that way?
Spud Boy says, I'm not that good at carom phase to begin with, and I've been even worse than that lately. So you're going to, who is it you're playing, Spud? Is it, who are you playing?
He's playing Tommy.
Right, so you're playing Tommy. So what have I just said earlier on there, what you should be doing? First of all, the first thing you obviously have to do is be aware of where you are on the table at all times. And the reason I say that is that depending on what ball you're potting, you need to know what end of the table you're at. And if you're zoomed in and you're not looking around yourself, the first thing you've got to remember, if you go by my basic guide is, if the balls are spotting after a pot, then where can you put that cue ball that's going to be best placed to give you a choice? So remember, above the 3 as we look, or below the 1. And if you stick to that rule, it's a good guide to get you started and get you thinking. And then what you've then got to get used to is the force follows, because there's a lot of players are scared of the force follows, and because you muck them up. But the more you play them, the more you become comfortable with them. But I think if you just follow the basic rule of thinking of where you are on the table, where the balls are spotting, get above the 3 or below the 1, you're going to be in line one way or another to get to one or the other ball. The rest of it then is not being afraid to use the rails. Now you've already seen in this tournament that the better players at the delicate stage of Cowboy, when it comes to the caroms, the better players are not afraid to use the rails when it's just a case of cutting a ball, sending the cue ball to the long rail on the side and bumping out into the ball that you're trying to hit because you don't have a good line to get to it direct with a force follow. So there's players playing Cowboy where they're scared of the rails. And to me, if you look at a ball and you look at the line and how thick you're going to hit that ball that you're trying, if I use my lines again, say that ball there, right, that yellow ball. If you're trying to hit a ball there, right, but you're dead behind it or something like that, and you can't get the force follow, then what you've got to look at is how thick do I need to hit the one ball to get to this rail, knowing that when it hits that rail, if it's hitting it plain ball, the tangent line would just bring it straight back off the rail into that ball. You've got to think about those things, and there's far too many players are afraid to look at the rails and use them. The better players will, because they're prepared to look at those sort of details in the shot. But don't be afraid to play your shots. If you chicken out, it won't get you anywhere. Meanwhile, Interchangex is putting on a little score here. Tam's in danger here in this first rack. Well, it's Interchangex on 86. This will take him to 89, and if he runs the cue ball, he might get lucky and bump something. Now he's got a problem. Now here's a perfect example here, where he's not perfect in anything here, and he's going to bail out of the draw.
Yeah, I think he gave good advice. I mean, just having a simple little thing like try to get, above the one or
it's not always
the 3.
It's never going to fall into place like that all the time, but it's a good place to start.
It's not really a rule. It's what's called a heuristic,
Mm-hmm.
which is a heuristic is something that it's a way of thinking about something that isn't always right, but it's mostly going to be right. Like if you said something like, there's a ring around the moon, it's going to rain tomorrow. Okay. That's a heuristic. Won't always rain tomorrow, but it's a good indication that it might. And those kind of things, the good thing about those kind of things when you're playing pool is that it makes the thought process simpler, because it's hard to think a lot and play well. So, you know, if you have just this little heuristic, then you can kind of just go to that. And sure, you're not going to instantly turn into the best player, but you're going to play at a higher level than you've been. And you're not going to have a lot of thoughts distracting you while you play, because that's just so simple.
Well, when you think about it, Cowboy is not as complicated as 9-ball, because the simple thing is there's only 4 balls on the table.
Well, so, I disagree with that.
Well, I mean, from that respect, it is, because, well, when you look at 9-ball, even 9-ball can become complicated when balls are in awkward spots.
I gave you all those props for giving good advice. Now I'm going to say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's like saying one pocket's the simplest game because you only have to shoot balls in one pocket.
No. I'm talking about if you look if you simplify matters, there is only 4 balls on the table.
Cowboy is a lot more complicated game than 9-ball. 9-ball's simple. You only have to shoot one ball.
Well,
you never have to make a decision.
Well, you do have
than how to deal with like clusters and things.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
You have to shoot one ball, and, then you know what the next ball you're going to shoot.
No. It's more complicated than 9-ball, because you have to shoot the actual one ball that's on. You know, and that ball that is on, you might not be able to see it. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's not complicated. That's just a situational thing. What I'm saying is you don't have to think. I mean, you have to think a lot when you're playing Cowboy, unless you know the game really well and it's become reflexive.
Well, maybe that's where I'm a bit blindsided, because there's not an awful lot of thinking involved in Cowboy, because the standard positions and shapes you get.
There's a lot of choices though in Cowboy, but that's what I was saying. Your advice was good about the heuristic of getting above the head string or foot string, because it gives you a good rule to go by, a heuristic where it simplifies your thought process. Because all anybody has to do is go start playing one pocket, and you don't know one pocket, and you're going to find out that it's really hard to play when you're thinking a lot. You're going to get a headache.
Yeah.
You know, you'll get a headache if you haven't played much one pocket, because it's just, you'll be doing nothing but thinking. Well, that wasn't a bad thought, but it wasn't well executed there by Interchangex. I mean, this is another so far poorly played match. I mean, hopefully these guys are going to get going.
Well, Tam, I don't know how many points Tam blew in that last visit, because he rolled the cue ball, never got to a ball. I don't know what he lost there.
You know, I mean, Tam is playing stub like, and why I say that is that, you know, the way he's hitting the balls, you know, there's a lot of luck involved, and you know, with Stubb, I mean, he can beat anybody if he has things go his way, because he moves the cue ball decently, and he's a very good shot maker, and he starts letting things loose and blasting it. Well, if he gets a few rolls here or there, he can beat anybody. But when those things don't go your way, just like that,
there we go.
You know, then you end up, you know, you can't beat anybody unless they just can't play. And obviously Interchangex can play. So Tam's going to have to get lucky to win this match playing like that.
Well, that's how he's going to lose it, because Interchangex is in 93. Fortunately for Tam, the 2 balls are in the kitchen, so they're dead. So he's going for the draw bailout, whereas I'd go for the 3-railer every day. I'd never hesitate.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, I think the 3-railer's a lot more reliable shot. Plus, you have 2 balls you can hit going that way. But, you know, it's worked out for him, and he's got a great situation here. Now, if he's smart about how he plays this, I think he can make a pretty big run. He wants to keep all 3 balls down here on this end of the table. Now, I would be playing off the 1 ball, and the reason why is that the 1 ball will go over by the 5, and you get it away from the pocket, and I think he's going to do that.
Now, ideally, if he hits the right side of the 3 and goes above it, that would be better as well, but no, he stayed below it.
So,
Now you can play a little force follow. Yeah. Well,
I would thin the 5 and come back to the 3. That's a little riskier, but it'll keep the balls there. Because you could end up with a longer run. But he does have a pretty good shot of the 3-reeler here. He's going to do the draw shot. This might not be bad
that's dangerous.
If he hits it easy.
Yeah.
Well, because he's going to bring the 1 back towards the 3. That's what's good about that. And this is where if you can control both balls, that you can make some really high runs. He's on 6 right now. I can't believe he's not going to shoot the 1 ball here. 1 to the 3.
I think
maybe he's thinking about where he wants the 1. I mean, the 1 to the 3 is an easy carom. Not that it matters unless Tam pops off something big. It's looking pretty good this game for Interchangex. I mean, obviously Tam's pretty good at this game, but I think, his style of play limits how far he can go in this tournament. I mean, eventually when you play this style, you're going to have a match where a lot of things go against you. And if you're playing somebody that can play, you can't win that match.
Yeah, you're going to get drowned out by the contributions that somebody like Albie's going to make as VP Monster found out.
But on the other hand, he's a dangerous player because if things go his way, he could beat some pretty good players.
Oh, he is well capable on his day of putting in scores. He's got to do it now. This to me, situations like this are good for proving your ability to threaten from far behind. He's in 64. He's pretty much dead here because I don't know whether he can cut that 3, and now he's blew everything here.
I'll say this: his icon is appropriate. That pretty much that is the picture in my mind of what he looks like playing. Like he's a little bit on the kooky side.
Is that a scale picture as well, to the size of a 9-foot table? Him standing next to it.
I know I'm making fun of him, but it's good. It's good natured.
Oh dear. Well, you know what to do here: up and down and kick in off the 1.
Yeah, he played an interesting shot. Kind of made it a little tough, but I mean that kick shot's not hard.
Up and down.
The question here is, do you want to play to the long rail or not? And I would say you probably do. I'd be trying to hit the long rail about 1 diamond up or 2 diamonds up from the corner.
Oh, he's going straight in.
Yeah. He was a little too low there on the rail.
Now, again, Tam can get clever here. If he's talking about, if he's thinking about trying to protect the 1 ball.
Yeah, or he could do that.
Or he could do that and just set it off over the side and give the rack away.
Yeah. Or he could just say, you know what, this game's old. Let's just get it over with. Yeah, I kind of like that approach because I don't think he was going to win this game anyways.
Well, you can't miss this. I mean,
it would be hard. This would be hard to miss.
What the hell is he doing? Oh, he's in 99. I forgot. He's in 99. He's not in 100. He lost his point, didn't he?
Oh, he lost his point. That's no good. I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, I'm looking at the scoreboard and I'm thinking, oh, right, so he did. Yeah, with scratching, he lost the point.
Yeah, well, if you're going to miss it, you really didn't want to miss it on that side of it. And you could hit that pretty thick and still could have got it in. He actually missed that by quite a ways. Well, this would be an epic comeback if Tam ran out from here.
Oh, Again, he hit that. To me, he hit that too hard. He just needs to be gentle and feather it.
Yeah, he hits a little bit more one ball, and that is bye-bye.
Got to have a defter touch.
Well, that just seems to be his game. I mean, that's
look. This is in all the way, folks. There we go.
And he got 9 points and then lost everything. All right. Well, I mean, I guess he's going to play this follow shot and then play off the one into the corner. That looks like his plan.
Well, he may well finish left side, which he has done. So,
watch out.
That's 3 balls going to get in the line.
He's blocking the pocket.
Not the 3 ball, the 5 ball. So that's that dead.
Yeah.
So he's now going to have to try and draw off it into the other pocket. Big stun and draw, but not too much. Probably what, a half ball?
You can play off the 1 and off the back of the 5.
But you can't. You can't do that. That would be a foul.
Oh, you're not allowed to hit another ball.
No.
Okay. Well, it was a good idea until I fouled. Cobra's changing his tune here. He's reversed this position.
Well, this is surprisingly a long rack. It's long for Tam. It's 37 minutes already. It'd be a lot longer if Tam gets in it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Neither one of them has played brilliantly this rack, so I mean, and they both lost points a number of times, especially Tam.
Oh no, it's anybody's call yet, this match.
I'm not sure how Steven's coming up with that. You mean, maybe you mean that he's going to get better rolls after this frame? Because the way he plays, it's going to come down to rolls. When you turn the cue ball loose, I'll tell you this about, I've played a lot of guys in real life that, like to hit the ball hard. And usually I'm spotting those guys wait. So you're playing some guy and you're giving him the 7 out or something like that and likes to hit balls hard. What you got to be aware of when you get into that kind of match is that he's going to get lucky a lot. Because when you hit the balls hard, you're going to get lucky a lot. But on the other end of it, you're going to get unlucky a lot. And I think, Tam's in that category. He's going to get lucky a lot and he's going to get unlucky a lot. And he just lost the match right here because I'm pretty sure that he can make this.
Let's have a look again.
It's a little bit tight. He's got to shoot the 1 into the right side of the pocket, but I think he's got the room there to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. No problem.
So that was 39 minutes for the first rack. Now, again, that's dead in the water. It's awkward where that's finished. I always break right from the rail on the right hand side, and that way I know that I'm not taking a line that's taking me across the table past the 5 ball. I'm taking a line that brings the cue ball down to the right side of the 1 ball, usually in the kitchen, and that way I know I've got a choice of shots. I don't know what Tam did there. But straight away it's, the miss from Interchangex. You might get a bonus here though. Oh.
Yeah, well, Town needs to put a big run on him, get out ahead. And, we've seen Interchangex struggle. So, if Tam can put a big lead on him, maybe things will change.
Yeah, well, Tam can't be relying on charity here. He's got to make things happen for himself. But he's definitely running loose.
Yeah, well,
I think mainly he's trying to get himself going. If he gets himself going, then I would expect him to settle down. What he hasn't done is he hasn't got himself in on a decent run yet. He's desperate to do that. Maybe a bit too desperate.
You're right, Slim, about the helpful English. Although, and I'm not sure how much it was going to help in that case, but yeah, anybody that plays one pocket a lot and tries to scratch on purpose knows about how important helpful English is. It's amazing how difficult it is to follow a ball in a pocket sometimes. But the English does help a lot.
Well, particularly if you're trying to help the cue ball into the pocket, a little bit of English. Maybe if you were down the right hand side of the table, a bit of right English in the cue ball will at least push it in off the jaw if the cue ball gets to the jaw. It'll help it in the pocket.
With Interchangex playing like a numpty, and he's not even under pressure right now. I mean, Tam hadn't even done anything. Well, he must have barely got that ball. I didn't even see it move.
Yeah, just feathered it. But it's no good where it's sitting.
Well, the thing with Tam is he has not executed that poorly as far as, making caroms and potting balls, but he keeps giving up his points because he's turned the cue ball loose. I guarantee you he scored more points last game than Interchangex did.
Yeah, but he lost most of them.
But he lost most of them, exactly. So, and right now he's giving Interchangex too many chances because Interchangex is, I'm not sure that his Cowboy game is that great. This is the second one I've seen, and honestly, I thought he'd be a little better at it than he is, just because of how he played 9-ball and 10-ball. His pool skills were pretty good, and I have a feeling he just hasn't played that much Cowboy. But that said, I mean, he's still a pretty good player and could pop off some big runs.
This just needs to be gentle.
Well, he pockets balls well. If he hasn't gone goofy, he pockets balls well and he moves the cue ball pretty well. I think his carom play in this game isn't, he's just not playing the right shots.
Now, why is he not going left side of the one? You're trying to push it and spin it. Yes, he is. He's got the room. I didn't think he had the room there.
Well, that's the right shot. It's come off the rail with a little English. You're just making the ball a lot bigger.
See, the only problem now is he's got to pull up a pot to stay at the table. This isn't a gimme.
He's going to shoot the 5-ball. Let's just shoot the 5-ball in the left pocket.
Now, when you look at this shot, the first thing is, okay, I've got to pot the 5-ball, but where am I putting the cue ball when I pot this 5-ball? It's not going to look good.
No. I just put it where I'm shooting the 1-ball in the same pocket, because then you're coming across at the 5-ball and the 3-ball. See, I would have rolled it forward more so I had an angle on the 1, because then you can run it at the 5-ball and the 3-ball. You've got 2 balls there, and if you go really long, you come off the end rail into the 3-ball. I mean, it was a situation where you almost couldn't miss that carom if you had to angle back on the 1-ball. And all he had to do was roll it back to get in that position.
Oh, this is going outward as well. He's got to pull off a pot in the 1.
Yeah.
Now, what's he trying to do with the 3? He's trying to cut that back or bank it off the 5.
Well, that was a smart choice.
Look at the cue ball
there, but he went.
There we go. Oh, he might have actually gotten behind the jaw here.
He did.
Yeah.
This is where you play off the jaw. You hit it off the other side of the titty with right English. You got the 3 and the 5 right there. This is almost unmissable. You play off the jaw with a little English. You hit it right off the titty on the left titty. Well, he didn't do that, but what he did worked.
Yeah, the English are in mourning, Slim. I haven't seen any of the TV news reports, but I know exactly what they're like. I don't need to see them.
Let's see what he decides to do here. I'd be playing a combo and coming up table, so I could have a 1-5 carom.
Yeah. You know the five's going to the five's going to stay there. It's the three that's going to go in, so it'll be a 1-3.
A 3-5 carom.
He might be playing a billiard here
or
on
a
the
1-3. Yeah, I don't like playing the billiard. Because see that he's got no idea where these balls are going. And that's what I'm talking about. Is that my mentor was a great 8-ball player. Like when they started that IPT tour, several pros came to him to teach them how to play 8-ball. And I played a lot with him.
3 railer to the 5.
He would never shoot a shot like that because he almost would never shoot a shot where he didn't know where the balls were going. And that's one of the reasons why he was a great 8-ball player.
See, that shot there to me wasn't a great shot. Look at where the 1 ball is. It's in such an open space, whereas where the 5 ball was a tight space in the corner, big target to hit with a 3 railer. Okay, you're risking a scratch, but to me it was a far better bet to get to that 5 ball off the 3 ball. I mean, I'm always going to play the shot that's going to give me a better percentage. And to me, that was a better percentage shot, the 3 railer. Now, this time going to start scoring. Not necessarily from here.
Now you're finally talking the right way, Hugh. That is what pool is about. It's about getting a better percentage.
Yeah, well, the one ball is fine if you're happy with the little 3 railer down this end to get the 1. But where the 1 ball was, it was isolated. You know, so you've got to increase your percentage. When you look at the 5 ball, it was tighter in the corner, and it's easy to go to the short rail in the bottom here and then bump the side rail and hit that 5. Far better percentage-wise, that shot. But players are scared to play and risk the 3 railers. I don't think I've seen Cobra play a 3 railer at all.
Well, you know, I mean, he hasn't played billiards a lot, so I mean, it's understandable. I mean, that's going to be a learned thing, and you know, maybe as this tournament goes on, you'll see more of them. But you can't expect a guy that hasn't played billiards to be playing a lot of 3 railers.
And Tom's missed the 1. The visit is only what was it, 16? So he's not getting away from Interchangex. He has to get away from him in this rack.
Yeah, he needs to pop off a big one because eventually I think Interchangex will. I mean, Tam's getting plenty of chances. He's just not taking care of business. But you know, Interchangex is going to, you know, he gets a few things right with the caroms. You know, he pots balls really good. You know he's going to run some 60s and 70s.
Well, I'm putting the 3 on its spot and staying top side of the 3 for the 3 to the 1, but he's going 5 to the 1.
He does play the go forward and go back shots well. I mean, he relies on them maybe too much, but at least he plays them well. If you got something you're going to rely on and you do it poorly, then that's not such a great strategy. But if you overly rely on going forward and back, but you do it really well, then it may limit you some. But it's going to be effective in this kind of match where the other guy isn't making big runs.
Now the stun.
Stunned it too much.
Almost getting into it too much. And now he's in trouble, I think.
No, he's good. He's got the 5 ball.
Oh, he can get to it. Yeah,
he's good. Yeah, and this is what I was thinking was going to happen eventually. Is I think Interchangex, he could run 60 or 70 right here. I mean, he's got the skills to do it. He pockets balls well. He understands the line the cue ball's going on pretty well. He just shoots the wrong shot sometimes because he hasn't played a lot of billiards.
Well, you've got to get the 1 on its spot here. Again, I wouldn't be playing the 3. I'd be playing the 1. Get the 1 and stay down the bottom. You've got a shot to the 5 or the 3. But he's checked the cue ball to keep a line from the 5 to the 1, and that'll work.
Yeah, boy, I would have gone to the other side of the 5 just because it was easier to get there. But what he's doing is working.
Well, again, if he's potting the 5, he's come out into the middle to leave that line from the 5 to the 3, not too straight. That'll work.
Yeah. He's playing position for going straight, which I don't particularly like because it's touchy, but he's doing it well. And
got to be 1 now. Can't refuse the 1. But this is where, talking to Spud Boy, a shot like this, Spud Boy, this is what you want to be doing. Stuff like this, not going too straight like that. Because then, well, that's fine. I thought that was going to be narrower, but that's fine. Just a feather edge. And you're keeping the 1 in play, playing the feather edge in the 1. So you know that you've always got a pot in the 1 to follow up. And now when he pots the 1, he wants to maybe kill the cue ball or come back an inch or 2 for the 5 to the 3. I mean, it's plain and simple when you're looking at it. You know, he's come back 2 or 3 inches. There's the 5 to the 3, not a problem. And the same with this shot. This is gentle enough that you're not killing the 5 ball dead somewhere.
Well, it's also gentle enough that you're not going to scratch something.
Well, he's potted it, so that's a bonus, and he's on the 3, so there's no worries now. Now we're in good shape. This is perfect. Top side of the 3, like that, 3 to 5. I mean, it's simple when you see it like this.
Yeah, and this was going to happen eventually. Someone was going to pop off a big one. Tam had a bunch of turns at the table, and, you know, he didn't do it, and now Interchangex is on a roll, and as long as he doesn't lose his points, Tam's going to be way behind.
You know, this is perfect because you pot the 3. You know you've already just nuffed the 5 down to the 1. You don't want to hook yourself behind the 3, and he's fine. And the same with this shot: gentle on the 5, push the 1, keep the 5 in play, pot the 5 probably, or the 1, depending on how things lie. Well, you see...
Yeah, he was a little nervous with the thin hit there. That's
not the way I would have played it. I wouldn't have played that. It would have been a thin hit every day, knowing that I'm going to hit it. I can't miss it.
I can understand why he did that. But, you know, that may be because of how much Cowboy he's played. He's just a little leery of that thin hit.
Well, now it's got to be thin. See, the 5 ball is still in play. If he wants it up the top, he might. If he takes it up the top, I think he's fine. He can go forward. See, I'd be going forward with a bit of right English in this 5 ball to get up behind that 3.
And here he's making me look good because I said, you know, he's probably going to pop off for 60 or 70 eventually, and here we go.
That works.
He's at 61 right now, and you know, who knows where this is going to end. And he's playing everything nice and controlled.
Yeah,
he's not taking chances where he's going to scratch.
He's doing it different from some of the shots I'm seeing, but it's still working.
Well, he's favoring going forward, but he's good at it. So, you know, it's working for him.
Now, is he going to go to the rail and come back across the table here? He's going to punch this 3 in. No, he's just playing it gentle to get into the narrow side, and that'll work.
And he can go right off the end rail here. Hit the 5 with a little bit of right English, come right off the end rail and back into the 1. He's going to go forward. See, he loves that go forward, but you know it's not difficult if you know where the cue ball is going and you do it well. I just don't like it as much because playing position for it can be tricky.
Yeah, well now he's in 84, run a 66. He's looking at thinning the 5. See, this is. I don't think I'd be risking that.
I would be shooting a 1 ball. It's just simpler.
Now,
I think he's looking where he wants to get on this 3 and 5.
Now, I'd be going to the long rail into the 5.
Yeah, real thin on the 3 or coming back from the 5 into the 3, which is a harder but safer shot.
See, the glance off the 5, the risk of the scratch there.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying I'd be thinking about hitting
the 5
missed it
first. I thought he feathered it.
If he hit it, he was going to scratch because it was going to double kiss. I would have played off the 5 there just because I wouldn't want to risk losing my points by hitting a 3 ball a little too thick.
Well, the run was 62.
He's lucky he hit it really bad because he hit it so thick he completely missed the 5. I mean, that was a poor choice there. I mean, it's always a good choice if you hit it perfect, but I thought that was just way too touchy a shot to risk losing the points because even if you hit up on top of the 5, there's a good chance it's double kissing and going in the corner. But it's all good now. He got away with it. He's got a big lead. Now Tam's going to have to respond here.
See, that shot that Tam just played there to hit the 3, I would have played that. I always play that firmer with a little bit of bottom because what I'm trying to do is to stop the cue ball from running to the rail like this. I'm trying to just kill it in the middle of the table.
Well, that might be the only time you say firmer when you're talking Tam because he likes to hit them hard. Now, me personally, I'd always be stunning back to the 3 there. But, you know, that's a good shot, and he's got 2 chances to hit it the way he played it.
Well, just kill the cue ball. 5 to the 3 set up. Now, again, the glance off the 5 to the 3 is gentle that you leave the 5 back up into this corner pocket or into the side. So he's going into the side. But he's got to then think, where am I going with the cue ball? He's trying to come back. That's him probably dead. Has he got it? He might still have it. He just got it.
What happened to Semi-Pro? Is Semi-Pro still around?
Yeah, he's blocked himself off. Can't get to it.
I don't know. Semi-Pro might have left after I gave him the Crybaby Award for the league.
Well, now he's probably going to take the 5, and that's obviously splitting the easy carom up. And he's tried to scratch. And he's going to have to jack up here a bit to get into the cue ball. And running loose again. Well, this is vital for Tam's sake in this rack. Well, if he doesn't, I don't think he wants to run into these. I think he wants to miss them. And that's why, because he's now split up what was a simple carom. He's going to draw into it again. And just brushes it.
Well, Tam's on a good run here, and this is what he needs. I mean, ideally he's going to go into the 90s here.
Well, ideally he needs to be paying attention to the scoreboard because it's always a worry when I'm watching somebody that they lose track of where they are and then they foul on the ball to get to 90.
I think he needs to play shots like that where he's hitting the ball easy. He needs to stay away from the wild shots. If he gets in a situation where he's got to hit it hard, then he's got to think twice about that because that's been his problem, is losing points.
So 89.
If he's going to win this game, he needs to keep these points.
Now,
I don't know if you noticed, but he has him as flying the cue ball over the trail, all over the table this run.
This is probably where he bails out here. He's going to take a risk here if he's running a cue ball.
This is just a stun over off the 1 or off the 5 to the 3. I just stun over from the 1. Now this is a fine shot too. That's more of a billiard player shot there. But it was nice and controlled.
That works. Now, how gentle does he dare risk hitting this?
That's a good shot too. I mean, he's got the 3 ball. That's fine. He's on Oh, he's in the carom stage.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's going to go the 3. He got to
Well,
go
this
the
is
1 to the
easy. You
5
just
or the
spin
5 to
over.
the 1.
Now,
He's
now
stunning. He's stunning and
he
he's
put draw on
scratching.
it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm watching where he's putting
Oh,
his Q-tip.
dear.
It's like he's putting a bunch of draw on it. You don't need draw to spin over on that shot.
Well, it's not the shot I would have played anyway. I'd have went from the 5 to the...
It's a shot I would have played every time. That's the simplest hit in the world from the 5 to the 3. Now, maybe the setup isn't as good.
That's a disaster.
But you do not put draw on that shot. I mean, people underestimate how much you can spin the ball over. You're hitting the 5 pretty thick. You don't need to draw it. That was just a center ball hit with center ball vertically with a bunch of right spin.
Yeah, the right spin kicks it off the rail.
With that, even playing it that way, you still would have come up short of the 3 ball and come off the end rail. And he's thinking he needs to draw it or he's going to go long. So, I mean, that's just...
Well, either way, it was fatal.
Oh, that was he had an easy risk-free shot where he couldn't lose his points. And
what did he give away there? 58? Was it a run of 58? I think it probably was about that.
That was just brutal. That's just brutal. You got to feel bad for Tam. I mean, you know.
Well, that's exactly.
He did all that work and then throws the points away.
That's exactly the pain and suffering you get in Cowboy. Be prepared for that.
Well,
I've done it loads of times.
What I would say to everybody, there seems to be certain shots that people don't play well, and that spin over shot, I've seen time after time. I've seen guys do it. Now, I watched Cobra shoot one of those spin over shots and come up long on it, and he shot it the right way, and I was like, oh, okay. You know, I mean, he came up a little long on it, but he shot it the right way. And you watch guys, and you can tell whether they're playing the right shot, whether or not it's successful. Well, look at this. Well, now this is where you can just milk this. This is just dink, 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 dink. He's in a perfect milking situation here, except he didn't hit that hard enough. See, he just screwed up. You wanted to be more in line with the balls.
Oh, it's a little drawn out.
He could have easily run that all the way to 100 with those 2 balls right there. He didn't go. You need to be more in line so you can just cut across the faces of those balls.
See, this is just a little thin edge of the 1 to the 5. I mean, you can go
or you can go the 5 to the 1, 2 rails.
He's going to go to draw against. He's scared to use the rails. I mean, that.
Yeah,
you know that.
It's where his game's at, and you know, I think the thing is that the wrong shot? Well, it's the wrong shot if you know how to play billiards, but you know he doesn't know how to play billiards. It might be the right shot for him. Oh boy, look at this. It's another mouse problem. You know, that's the thing about players is say, well, the right shot is do this. Well, it might not be right for them if they don't know how to play it. But I will say in that case where he could go from the 5 2 rails to the 1 ball was huge. And I think that's the realization that guys that don't play billiards have to come to, is that when you've got a ball, you know, that distance or closer to the rail makes that ball gigantic. Like it's very difficult to miss it.
Well, I think Interchangex is one of those players who doesn't play a lot of Cowboy, so from that, he sticks with what he knows and what he's comfortable with. But the thin edge of the 1 to... I mean, even the thin... See, looking at that shot, I'm looking at that 1 to the 5. I can play it really thin off the 1 to the 5, or I can play it a bit thicker from the 1 to the 5 with maybe a bit of right English just to punch it and straighten it into the 5. You know, there's various ways you can get to that 5, but he's not comfortable looking at that shot at all. Didn't give it any thought.
Yeah, it's well, here we go with crazy shots.
Welcome to Rob.
But it's also a trap because he's probably going to win this match and he's going to be happy about that. But here's the thing: is you've got to look at your game and be realistic. You've got to realize that playing the way he's playing isn't going to be good enough to beat.
No.
You know, Fantastic Fox, Cobra, Albinario.
Well,
there's a bunch of guys.
Steve,
like that.
talking of the winner of this match goes through to play the winner of Mr. Fox and Cobra. So I'll tell you something: whoever gets through from here is going to find that both of those guys, whoever wins, doesn't matter who, both of those guys will score.
I think Interchangex could win against those two guys, but for him to do that, he's going to have to just go practice a lot of billiards and learn to play better caroms, because right now, unless you got a lot of help from him, I don't see him being able to beat either one of those guys, because his carom game isn't good enough.
Oh dear!
And would you believe it? Again.
Would you believe it?
So how many points has he lost?
He's
already lost 80 points or something this game?
Yeah, well, he lost about 52 in that other visit and 20 odd there, so that's about 80 odd he's lost. He could have been well over the line. 97 it is for Interchangex. Where's this one ball going?
Out.
Oh. Now he can spin onto the rail and catch the one.
He's going to play a little spin over, and this is an easy shot.
Okay, you're not potting the 5. The 5's fine, and now you're setting up the next one. Look at where the 1 ball is. I mean, this is same again. Just a little touch in the 5, and make sure that you go. I would be making sure that I'm going up the table slightly. I don't want to be too. Let's have a look. Oh, he's missed it. Unbelievable.
Well, he didn't put any English on it.
Yeah.
He hit that dead flat with no English. I don't get that.
I mean, if he'd brushed that there, he's perfect for the out. He's not a problem with the out shot. And Tam, again, being as generous as he was in the first rack, he said, well, there you go. Get out this time. I mean, this is, again, a blind man with a wooden leg and one arm is never missing this into the side pocket. Just a little stun. Oh, tell a lie, still only 99.
He's got to make a carom, yeah.
Oh, it's only 99.
So he's got to decide what he's going to play off of. I think the easiest carom is probably the 3 into the 1. 2 rails into the 1.
Well,
I'd shoot.
I like I like the 5 to the 3, Steve, because then again, if I hit the 3, I've got either the shot into the side or off the one into the top left.
And that's not a terribly hard one either, and you can make it 2 or 3 rails. Instead, he did what neither one of us thought was a good shot. I like the 5 to the 3 too. You just don't want to. You don't want to give players too many chances, because that's how you end up losing. Even though it doesn't seem like Tam could win at this point, he can. All he's got to do is keep his points.
No, again, he's just letting things run way too loose here. I mean, that just needed to be gentle. He's now...
What's happened?
He's now on a pot.
He's now on a pot that's not a guaranteed pot, and he's left a pretty simple situation here. So
right.
I'd imagine he's going to thin the 5 and go to the 1.
Now, ideally, he wants to hit the right side of the 1, bump it out, keep the cue ball somewhere there, and then off the 1.
It's impossible to hit the left side of the 1. He decided he didn't like the thin shot, what we've seen before. He took a chance there. This is not a terribly difficult.
Just a little stunt.
Yeah, you could almost roll.
Trust your instincts for this. Just play the little stun. I mean, I don't.
Well, that's how you're going to miss it wide. See, that's the problem with playing that shot. That's why I don't like doing it that way, because you could have rolled that. If you have to roll a little firmer, as soon as you start going to stun, I'm watching him do this. I'm thinking there's a good chance he's going to miss this on end rail, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but it all depends on how much stun you put on it.
Well, it's understanding the line the cue ball is going to go at, and the difference, one of the big difference in player levels is how well they understand that line. Like, do they understand it right here or right there? Is it an inch over, or is it a half inch over? And the better you understand the line, the cue ball is going to move on, then the better you can move it.
Well, stun again into the corner.
Yeah, now this shot's a little tougher. You've got to stun this one.
Oh,
and he hit it good, and it didn't go. Well, that was well played there.
Now, is Tam going to try and protect? From what he's doing, he's not trying to protect the one. There's.
Well, he's gonna just flat out lose from just about anywhere unless he titty hooks him or hooks him behind a ball here. If he doesn't, if he screws up, it's c'est la vie.
Where the one ball is now, that's not protecting the one, because any mistake Tam makes right now, if that one's still sitting there, it's sayonara to this rack.
Yeah, Slim's saying the line didn't require a stun, and you're probably right if you hit it hard enough and pretty take the one ball straight at the middle of the end rail, it probably didn't require a stun.
Oh, no.
Because the cue ball is going to move on the tangent line for a long time before the spin takes it.
Well, I think this is just about making this rack a bit more presentable as far as the scoreboard looks for Tam.
Hey, never say die. Never say die. He could win from here.
Of course he can. There's always that possibility, but he won't be thinking about that until he gets to 90. I mean, that's the first objective: is get to 90 and get there fast.
I've won several matches where I was downhill to nothing. Race to 9 and it's 8-0. I've won matches like that. You never give up.
Well, if you pot the one gentle and you go up the table, you get a 1 to the 3, and I'm not exactly certain what's happening here. This has got to be an edge off the 1 to the 3. Now, what's he doing?
Yeah, and they're close enough. This should be a pretty easy shot.
He's trying to keep the one safe. Well, that shows you he's thinking a little bit. He's trying to make it as awkward as possible.
Well, I mean,
and that's not the wrong thing to do. I mean, take what you can get and then duck.
I play the cue ball where his cue is. I just hit the one just a teeny bit on the thick side, so you can't make it in the corner pocket, and let the cue ball come right down where it is now into that pocket. Now, he's doing something different.
Well, Interchangex is trying to get out.
Well, this is a problem because the 5 ball's in the way. I don't see how he can make this shot with the 5 ball in the center of the table. I mean,
has he called a pocket yet? I can have missed it.
Yeah, but he's trying to go 2 rails. I don't see. Well,
hang on a minute. Hang on. Oh, that's unlucky. I think that was a good line.
That was perfect. I didn't think he could make it. He hit it perfect. Well, see, that shows you my billiard knowledge. I didn't think he had a line there to the pocket, but he did.
See, Tam's trying to get the extra point there and get the open table. Now he's gifted the out to Interchangex. It's just a straight draw.
If he doesn't make this one.
Tam, he's potting the one, but he was trying to move the cue ball to get a bump to get the open table, getting the carom as well, and a fatal error.
I think Interchangex went to the bathroom because he figured Tam would be up for a while. Either that or he's disconnected.
So it's just the ball in hand draw shot into the corner pocket, whatever one he wants to choose. And it'll be 2-0.
All right. Well, while nothing's happening, I'm going to go get some coffee. I'm pretty sure that Interchangex can handle this.
He hasn't said anything that he was taking a break or anything,
Well,
so he might have
maybe
disconnected. Oh no, there he is. He's alive.
there he is. Yeah.
Well, he's going for the
And
follow.
yeah, didn't you think that's what he would do?
Well, follow or draw, whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with.
I mean, this shot can be missed, but on VP it's a lot harder to than in real life. In real life, you know, you can turn a cue ball with this pretty easy, but in VP it's pretty hard to miss.
Just getting right behind the cue, that'll do it.
All right, I'll be right back.
Both the racks in the end, Interchangex was gifted the outshot. So it's a long way back now for Tam. See, I never do that. I never do that shot. But having said that, I mean, the danger there is a scratch. The one I play, you're never going to scratch. The worst thing that happens is you'll bump the side pocket jaw on the right side. And Tam might be coming to the table here with a hefty deficit already in this third rack, depending on how things go. But Interchangex, on the assumption that it is a long way back for Tam, on that assumption, we're putting Interchangex as the favourite to go through, then Interchangex is going to find that his scoring ability and other little aspects of his game are going to be put to the test in the next match. His patience as well, if it's Cobra, he's going to end up playing. And this might be a bit tricky. Yeah, too tricky. And look what Tam's left. Well, he can just chip the one, skim the one and bump the rail and kick the 5. That's not a problem, I don't think. Just a delicate chip. He's going to go for the carom off the 3. Bonus points for the 3 ball going in. Open table. So he's got to pot the 3 again and then get rid of that 5 ball where it's sitting with the next carom. Well, he's going for another open table and he's missed it this time, and now it's finished awkward. See, why didn't he just take his medicine? You know, it's a wee bit fiddly. And got the more he works with this 5 ball, the better that score will go up. And now, again, depending on the angle on the 3, he wants to either just roll through. So he's got a good line from that 3 to the 5. See, this is not great. I think the 3 ball will get out of the way, but he looks as if he's going to the short rail to kick the 5. He could try the force follow. Has he caught that there? Nope, unbelievable. So, only 13. Well, it's looking doom and gloom here for Tam. Any contributions he has made, he's lost them, particularly in that second rack. And he's not putting any pressure on Interchangex. He's not giving Interchangex any sort of second thoughts. And the only way to start putting things into the mind of your opponent is to start doing stuff, start accumulating points, make the guy realise that you're still wanting to be a contender in this match. Yeah, a little bit tricky, that one. Not a bad effort, though. So Tam's been let off the hook. How good are you remembering what you should be doing, Spud Boy? You know, stick to my basic principles. I mean, they're very basic, but if you stick to them and always think, well, where's this ball spotting when I pot it? What end of the table am I at? You follow those basics, you might be able to string a wee bit more points together than you might normally do.
Well, has anything changed?
Well, Interchangex, Tam broke down on 11, I think it was, or whatever it was he got. Interchangex did pretty much the same, so Tam was let off the hook there that time. And now he's going to have another go at accumulating something. The one ball.
Well, being down 2-0 is not.
Well, it focuses the mind.
Great for. Yeah, it's a tough road from here for Tam.
Big target, the 5 ball. Again, just a gentle roll in the 5. Stay up there with the cue ball. Oh, he's got to hit it. You've got to get it to the hole, Tam. That ain't getting there.
Hole?
It's not getting there.
Not. Wow.
And you've got to be confident in your mouse as well.
I spot the 3 where the 5 goes in my mind. Well, now that's a problem.
Well, the obvious thing to try and give yourself a quick reminder of where you are on the table, because you know sometimes players are zoomed in more than others, and if you have a quick glance at the end rail, then if you only see diamonds in the end rail, then you know that's the kitchen end. If you see the numbers in the end rail, then you know that's where the 3 ball's going.
Well, I mean, he's talking about getting a 3 and 5 confused. I could see getting a 3 and 1 confused, but the 3 and 5, that's
a bit
out there. Yeah.
So this match started at 4 o'clock, so we're an hour and 24 minutes into it.
Yeah, I hit that a little too hard.
Oh, it's already
still okay though.
It's already -3 outside.
Oh, is that colder?
Yeah, we had a bit of speed, a little snow shower for a little while yesterday. That was the first snow we've seen this winter, but we're sheltered, so we very rarely see an awful lot. But it was a bit milder today, but the temperature's dropped like a stone tonight.
Well, when I played golf Friday, I played in shorts.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah. The forecast temperature tonight is down to -6 tonight, -5 tomorrow night, -5 the night after. A bit milder on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And according to looking at the forecast, they're looking at getting a bit milder next week. So bang goes the white Christmas.
Yeah, well, we're in a cold snap, and the highs are. Well, let's see. I guess I could do this in
70.
I could do this in centigrade for you. So today is 19, tomorrow's 18, Tuesday's 14, then we're 20, 20, 14, 12, 11, 13, 16. So.
Well, that's like mid-60s.
Yeah.
1966. See, I'm quite good at converting centigrade to Fahrenheit or Celsius to Fahrenheit. As soon as I hear the numbers, I can usually convert them. 25 is 77. 29 is 84.
Well, it's subtropical here, so it doesn't usually get real cold. Wow, that barely got there. I think the Q is frozen to the 3.
Yeah, he's going to be stumped here for a pot.
Yeah, those balls are frozen. Well, we've got a tie score right now this game. Let's see if Cam can put something together.
I did say in the chat last night, well done to Vexor for at least turning up for Team Pinas. He almost won 2 of the matches. He won, what was it? He won, was it 7-1 or 7-2 against Mark Shark? And then he was like 5-2 up against Potman. And then I came into the room and didn't jinx him. I think I jinxed Vexor because Potman won it 7-6 in the end. And I sensationally beat Vexor, giving him last 2, 7 racks to 2. So that's my claim to fame last night. I did the business, all to no avail.
It's a shame that the Philippines are on a time schedule that isn't good when it's UK time, or where we've got a lot of players in Europe. I mean, I would think that, well, we probably have a lot more players in the Philippines if they had computers. I have a feeling that the percentage of PC ownership in the Philippines isn't tremendously high.
I wouldn't think so, no.
Well, there's a lot of poorer people there, and without a lot of income, and typically that kind of situation, people use their phones for everything. They have a good smartphone, and that's it.
Time again. Can't put anything together. Still trailing. And when things are going like this in a match, you're 2-0 down. Is it crossing your mind to think about doing things a little bit different? Maybe slowing down a little bit, not running the cue ball as much, or again, that can be a two-edged sword. You change your game up, and then suddenly you're not flowing as much as you do. Are you going to continue to take risks? Are you going to continue to risk losing your points after your hard-earned work? You're 2-0 down. I don't think it's worthwhile actually changing a great deal. You might as well keep going at it. It might start working, you never know. You might start getting lucky and keeping your points. 29 at the moment. Oh, God. Oh, you're suffering. See, this is why we don't have air conditioning in Scotland. We never think we have the need for air conditioning, and then suddenly we get 85 degrees for 2 or 3 days and everybody's dying. I've checked. I like to have the little weather app on my phone, and I'll tell you right now, it's probably about minus 42 in Yakutsk in Russia. That's one of the big cities in Siberia. Let me have a quick look. I'll bore you with some temperatures. Where are we? Barrow is like one of the most northerly US towns. That's right up in the north of Alaska. And the temperature in Barrow right now is minus 13. And it's going to cool down to minus 18 tonight. They've got snow forecast next week. And the temperature in Yakutsk at the moment is minus 40. And with a cool temperature of minus 42 tonight. And tomorrow, minus 48. How's that? that's the part of the world where you have to put your car in the garage and you put it into your heated garage and you leave it running all night, or else you get up to a refrigerator in the morning. Well, there's living on the edge, and then there's just plain insanity for those people that live in these parts of the world. So, Interchangex, this is driving the point home. Interchangex is running a nice little run here at the moment, and that's just going to probably take the last sting out of anything that Tam's going to produce. He's already on 80, and he's pretty much killed the match here in this visit, provided he doesn't do something numptish.
It's not over till it's over, but it's not looking good for Tam.
The record low in Scotland is about minus 20 something, and that was in Braemar. And I remember that winter. It was quite cold. See, Braemar is a little bit unique because it's surrounded by the mountains, and when the cold weather comes in during the winter, the cold air from the mountains just rolls down the mountains into the little valley where the village of Braemar is, so it just gets colder and colder, but it's a rare occasion that happens, minus 26.
Boy, it can get cold here in the U.S. I remember I went to Minneapolis once. I got off the plane in my California suit.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, did you have your shorts on?
It was minus 27.
Yeah, that's bracing.
And with a little bit of breeze, like about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze with the wind chill, it was minus 56.
Yeah, that's a killer. I mean, you just don't go out in that. You know.
Well, that was when I was young. I walked outside and my mustache just froze instantly. I was like, oh, crap, if I smile, is it going to fall off?
And there's more than that will fall off in that weather. You've got to go to the bathroom inside. Don't take a leak outside. You'll be stuck to the tree that you're pissing against.
And then there's Alaska.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to go to some of those parts of the world.
They say if you spit and it cracks when it hits the ground, so it freezes before it gets to the ground, that's when you're in real trouble, when it gets that cold.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's guys, you've seen the guys on videos on YouTube, the guys in Omyakonsk. Anybody heard of Omyakonsk?
The record in Minnesota's got to be like 60, 65 below, something like that. I mean, because they get some tremendous cold fronts coming down through there. Yeah,
Omyakonsk, and that's in Siberia as well, and it's about the coldest place inhabited on Earth, and it's got down to minus 72, and that's where you get out a kettle of boiling water or a cup of boiling water, throw it into the air, and it just comes down as frost out of the air. It's so bloody cold.
I've seen it like at minus 60 in Fargo before.
Oh yeah,
when I've looked. I mean, that's just crazy living places like that.
I mean, when you think about that, if you've been in, we've got big freezers in the store, big walk-in freezers where they keep the meat and everything. You go into that, and that's minus 26. Because there's a big fan blowing, and you go in there and you're in there for 2 minutes, and the next time you're absolutely frozen to the spot. But we're talking about places in the world where it's like triple that almost, and then you add the wind into it. Oh, no wonder you just
go
go in it.
Someplace like Barrow, which is in northern Alaska.
Yep, right up in the tip.
It's like 80, 85 below. It's just crazy.
And the crazy thing about it is there's people living there. That's what's crazy about it. These people are still hunting seals. I mean, they've got their quota of seals and whales. That's how they get by. But I mean, I could not live in a place like that, not for any length of time. I mean, that's a place you go to for a couple of days, have a look around, and say, right, well, I've seen it. I'll never be back.
Well, now, I wouldn't say where you live has the greatest weather.
Well, the thing is, I take exception to that, Steve, because I think our weather is perfect. We don't get boiled. We don't get tornadoes. Fair enough, we get our fair share of horizontal rain during the year. We're not short of water. We've got lochs that get millions and millions of gallons of it. We could sell water the Arabs can sell oil. We've got a temperate climate. It's comfortable, and you can live in it. It's not one where the sweat's dripping off you as soon as you step out of the house, and you've ruined a shirt that you've only had on 5 minutes. No, it's nothing like that. This is a perfect part of the world. Decent weather.
You don't have earthquakes.
Yeah. Well, we do, but nothing that you can measure. You know, they say, oh, they had an earthquake in the north of England last night. It was 2 point something on the Richter scale. And the guy just thought it was the curry he had last night. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how much of a tremor you get from them. You know, so no, you can have your tornadoes, you can have your hurricanes, and you can keep them. As far as I'm concerned,
I've had curry that was at least worth a 5 on the Richter scale. Some of that curry is.
But you know, no, it's Scotland. It might be not the best hospitable place as far as the weather for a lot of these tourists are concerned. But I'll tell you something: we'd much rather have it the way it is than in some parts of the world. I mean, you know, monsoons every year flooding people out. No. So anyway, I think all we're doing is killing time for the inevitable here, because Interchangex into the Carams. Now here's a little 2-in-1.
Cobra, you still have time to redo your prediction here.
Yeah, that'll be the third time. Well, I think Cobra's gone for his dinner.
Well, I really think Interchangex, if he went and practiced a lot of billiard type shots, he could win this tournament. I mean, he plays everything pretty good except the 2-3 rail shots. I think if he worked on those more,
that's what I think.
Be a contender.
Just limits one or two players. There is always there's just this denial of wanting to use the rails, and such a focus in getting good on each shot to have the follow up. Sometimes you have to bail out with the 3-railer, and there's far too many players refuse them. But that's maybe why I'm not in the tournament.
Well, a lot of times you have shots where it could be a 2 or 3-railer. If you miss it one way, you get it the other. Plus, there's a lot of times where you have, balls lined up where you have more than one ball that's a possibility on that path. Yeah. And when you add up all the possibilities for the pass, you see situations where it's pretty hard to miss going 2 or 3 rails.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Jose in the house. Good evening to Jose. Well, this is Sam's last chance, if I can speak right. I think it's pretty much his last chance. He's got to get to 90. He must get to 90 and try and make this a match.
Well, the other thing is with the ball near a rail, I mean, the size of the ball can be like the size of a bowling ball. I mean, it could be huge. Yeah. What you got to hit.
Becomes a bigger target. Oh, look at the one ball. Well, he can leave that there for safety's sake. If he can work with these for a little while, he can always have the bailout in the one. But that's,
he could just miss this shot.
But that's not going to get there. But at least it's kept the one ball out. But now here's
that's tragedy though. It's pretty tough to do anything here.
Let's have a
look. You might as well make one at this point.
Oh no!
Just make them both. Make them both. Oh, he tried to. Yeah.
I would have been. I'll tell you what I'd have done there. Where that cue ball was sitting, I would have slammed into the 3, loads of left English, and fired it around the rails to get to that 5. That's what I would have done. No hesitation.
Why not try to make the 1 and the? Why try not to make the 1 and the 5 like he did? Get them both back on the table.
Well,
that seemed like a good play.
Yeah, but that.
Oh, look at that! Oh boy.
That would be my my swan song shot. I would have went to there.
Oh, I see. You just wanted to show off.
I'd have just showed off, yeah.
Well, that's okay because
that would have been one of my watch this shots that that I type frequently in the chat when we're playing.
Us Americans, we know about showing off, and it looks like we've taught everybody else in the world, judging by how that Moscone Cup went, is that the Europeans they've all learned to show off.
There's too
just
much
like
of
the
this.
Americans now.
Even I was cringing watching Jason Shaw, doing the chest pumps and all this crap. I mean, and then all I don't know how many were on the table at the end of the match. The whole bloody team was on the table. I was waiting in the table collapsing. But no, there's too much hooping and hollering.
Yeah, it's become infectious. Let the fans do the hooping and hollering.
There's
As a player, you don't
played a
need
nice
to do
little
that.
carom there. There's a nice little carom.
Mm-hmm.
Using the rail. Yeah, I'm a bit for that philosophy, Slim. Well, here we go.
I didn't like him shooting that shot because it's too easy to get a double kiss off the three and scratch in the corner. You got to recognize with a three ball on the rail like that, when you're coming across at a low angle, that it's real easy to double kiss and go in the corner.
Well, Tam's in 90. He's in no good shape here though, but he can go for the three railer to the one. He can try and get to the three, going three rails. Has it got the legs? Well, if it had the legs, it wasn't going to get there.
Well, the problem with that is not only did he not get it, but he left an easy carom.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Interchangex is in 96.
Well, there's a little risk if you play off the 5 here. At the speed you got to hit it. It's safer to play off the 3. Now, he may play off the 1. But if you play off the 3, you just hit a little fat and just come off the rail right into the 5. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. Maybe disconnected.
Let's have a look. Yep, you just hit that a little bit thick.
Yeah, that's a shot I like. Because you can control the speed of the balls and, it's hard to miss the 5, and you can't accidentally make a ball. He'll probably play off the 5 because that's probably his comfort level, but you could easily bank this 5 in or have ricochets. There's probably going to be some ball collisions, just like that. Well, he got away with it.
This is a feather edge and nothing else.
Oh, I'd feather
looks as if he's going to the rail. Yeah, it's coming behind it.
This is the right play here. Yeah, I mean, that's a simple shot.
Now, he can't... he could double kiss the 5 to the 3, but he's trying to draw and overcut the 3 here and make sure he misses the pot in the 3.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
You see, that shot was so risky there. It was easier to double kiss the 5 and get to the 3 from it.
Because, when you're trying to pot it, that's the shot you end up with. You do that and miss it, and when you're trying to miss it, that's when it goes in.
Yeah, he says that was closer than intended.
Yeah, well, that's it's not a good choice. You run off 2 rails here, end rail, long rail. He didn't hit it.
Oh, watch the cue ball though. I think he's still got the legs. He's still got the legs. Yeah, he has. No, he hasn't. Well, it must have been about a hair's breadth of it.
It's pretty close. He just didn't hit it. But he's left Tam in a spot here. I mean, I think he's got a carom. Let's see what he decides to play.
Can he get to the long rail before the side pocket onto the long rail on the left side and hit the 1?
No, he's playing a ton of spin down to the 3.
That worked.
And he hit it well. Yeah, he jacked up on that.
Well, the 2 and 1 shots on here off the 5, I think. He can cut the 5 past the side pocket and come around 2 rails into the 3 of the 1, but the 1's obviously over the pocket.
Yeah, it's always risky when you're going potentially the ball near a pocket. And here we go with the risky.
Yeah, this time
he got away with it.
He's got away with it. Well,
I mean, if you're good enough to run the line where you're not going to hit the ball dead on, I mean, a really good billiard player might be, but
Oh,
I'm
now,
certainly not.
now he's got a chance.
Yeah, this is sitting great. I mean, let's see what he decides to play off of. I'd probably play off the 3 ball just to get a little away from the pocket.
Oh,
See, I
that
wouldn't
was...
have done that because he's separating the balls too much. I would have played easy off the 3, bump the 5, and then you got the 5-1 sitting there. You got to be greedy. You got to be thinking, I'm running to 100 and getting out. Because if you're not greedy, then you're going to end up losing.
This is the same shot, Steve. Get the spin to do the work.
Yeah, and that one he hit pretty good.
Well, now he's limiting his options here, but again, he can get the spin to work here. He doesn't want to bank the 5 onto the 1. He's trying to... Well, he thought for a second there about trying to get to the narrow side of this one.
He can play 2 rails into this 1. It's not going as long as you hit on that side of the ball. And you can't scratch. I mean, that's not a bad shot going 2 rails into this 1 ball. Now, he's putting English on this, which I would not do.
Well,
I would just hit this with no English and just thin to 5. I don't think it's that hard a shot, and then you get the 1 out of the pocket.
And the 5's going in the right direction towards the 3, but he's trying to get to the... He's trying to stun to the 3. Took a risk, and the 1 ball's gone.
Yeah, I thought the other shot was better because it was very controlled, and there's no way you're making that 1 as long as you hit it on the 1 side.
Well, again, he had a run of 5 there, and that's all gone south. And this is it for the match.
This is going to be hard to miss. He goes forward really well, so there's no kiss here either. The 1 ball will pass in front of the cue ball. Make sure you don't make the 1.
There it goes. Oh, goodness me, everything but in. Well, you push the 1 onto the the short rail at the top end. He hasn't hit it with any weight.
Well, the problem he's got here is he's got to run 10.
Yeah, well, I think you had to hit that harder because you're moving the 5 somewhere, but you want to bring the 1 ball back up into play.
Tam plays caroms good enough. He probably could run 10. I think his biggest problem is he doesn't seem to be good at keeping the balls together, which makes it a lot harder to do big runs. If you can keep the balls in a localized area, it just makes it so much easier. When you have to start doing this kind of stuff, then,
kicking in behind
anything could happen.
Well, now the 1, he'll leave that 1 there. He won't touch that.
Yeah, well, this is not an easy carom. He's just going to play safe. No, he didn't get safe. And Interchangex, we've already seen him hit this 2 railer
to the
be brave.
Pocket.
He's going to play the 2 railer. This is what he played before, and he hit it good. It was going in, except the 1 ball came around. No, I think he's going to go the other way, isn't he? Or is he going to go that way?
2 ways to go to get there. That's his choice. He's missing the 5 if he's going to take it that way.
I like the other way.
Well, the other way is more open because there's nothing in the line of the shot really, or anything that can interfere with it.
You can hit more of the 1 ball going the other way, which I like. But either way probably works. Let's see what he decides. Looks like he's going your way, Hugh.
Got to miss the 5. Oh no, I don't know what he tried there. Don't know what that was. I think he tried to double kiss it into the bottom right hand corner here. That was a weird one.
Yeah, that didn't seem like it ever was going to work.
Well, Tam's trying to really push the 1 back to the short rail and try and get a carom at the same time, but this is a sellout shot.
He had 2 balls to roll it, and he didn't get it. Yeah, you think he's going to win from here. This is just, you don't have to stun it or nothing. This is just roll this ball. Ball's easier when you can just roll the ball. See, he stunned it
too much.
Well, he stunned it.
Well, I think you've got to stun it a wee bit to hold the line.
You don't have to stun it at all. You need to put the cue ball tip up about a tip above the center of the ball and just roll it. You didn't need to stun that shot. Ask One Pocket Slim. He knows. He'll tell you didn't need to stun that shot.
Well, at least he's got the snooker. Almost. Well, again, it's in past the 5 ball. He's got to go in past the 5 ball because he can't see the left-hand side of the 1. So that's the pocket he's going to call this time. This one here. That's the one to go for. That one.
The thing you got to realize about the ball path is it's always coming off tangent. And then it starts curving. So if you hit that 1 ball straight into the end rail, the cue ball is coming out perpendicular going straight towards the long rail. Then that fact that it's got forward spin starts curving it towards the pocket.
See, I don't understand the logic there of Interchangex, why he was trying to get into that top right-hand corner pocket. Again, just an inherent reluctance to use the angle that's there off the 1 down to that bottom left-hand corner pocket.
It's just...
and it looks nicer when you do it.
But, this is why we play these things. And honestly, this is the main reason I commentate, besides the fact that I like spending time with Hugh, is that, I'm trying to get the level of play raised in VP. We've got a lot of good players, and I think every single one of them could get better.
Well, nothing's fallen into shape here at all. He's got a thin one from the 3 to the 1. And
now I'm not going to claim I'm always right, but I think I'm right a pretty good percentage of the time.
Well, that shot there, Spud Boy, that shot that he played there was not the shot I would have ever even thought about. It's always got to be the 3-railer because the shot is definitely on.
Well, I think the game is over now. This is going to be hard to miss. Yeah. C'est la vie here.
Well, an hour and 53 minutes. Oh dear, he's done it again. And see when you start doing stuff like that, when you've... I mean, that's an easy out.
He just didn't hit it with enough speed.
That's an easy out in Cowboy, and you might pay the price of it.
All you had to do is hit that one with speed, just to keep it going sideways a long time.
Yeah. Now, once again, Tam shouldn't be going near the 1 ball. He should be maybe cutting the 3. Well, even then, he's got to be wary. I mean, does he want to try and preserve himself and give himself another chance? I think he should just be ducking for distance here. Because the chances are that Interchangex is going to try the same shot, and he's going to scratch again. Now, again, he's got ball in hand here, Steve. I mean, there is no way on earth that I'm doing anything other than coming off that side there, and I think he's doing it this time, and down into this pocket. And you don't need any spin on it. You just hit. It's how thick you hit the 1. Again, he's trying to get into pockets from. I don't understand it.
That one you were going to have to stun, probably with a little bit of right English to get that one to go. I mean, that was a long ways in the pocket.
Well, you see that shot there, and this is I just can't understand why players are avoiding playing a more natural shot. The more natural shot is how thick you hit that 1, because you don't need English. You just let it come off that 1 ball, pick your line, and you'll get it close to the hole, if not in.
This is the loop-de-loop shot. Hard force follow. Hit the 1 and loop it into the pocket. What's he doing? He's not hitting the 1 thick enough. Oh, he's just playing safe. I would have shot the loop-de-loop there. What does Danny DiLiberto call it? The high karate? Except, you're not supposed to, in 1 pocket, high karate it into the pocket. Boy, I've done that before. Try to shoot the high karate where you make the cue ball come back into the rail and have it go right in the pocket.
I see.
Oh, he almost got lucky there.
And he's again, he didn't choose to move the 1 to maybe a safer place. It was all eggs in one basket there.
If I had any advice for Interchangex besides practicing caroms, is practice scratching off the one ball, because he's going to lose a lot of games against good players by messing around with this one ball this long.
He's missed it completely. See, with that shot, you can actually go forth follow with right English, so that you check the rail and come in off the jaw.
I was surprised he didn't go forward with that. That really surprised me. He tried to thin that. I think he's gone goofy.
But no, you see, the thing is, because he doesn't play Cowboy often enough and regular enough, these shots he's not seeing. As simple as that. He's not seeing them.
Oh, no. He goes forward all the time. He just made the wrong choice. He knows about going forward.
And this time, Tam's played a sensible shot. That's guaranteed him another visit unless some sort of miracle happens here.
He's not making the ball there. I can tell you that right now. That was near impossible.
And again, the one ball's in a dangerous place. You see, now, this is where I would always be wary about where the one ball is. Now, the carom is not a gimme. It's not easy, but you can spin off the 3 to the 1. But you've got to do something like keep the 1 safe, and he's trying to bank it towards the 3, and that's not working, and he's trying to try to get to the 5. And that...
now, come on here. He can't just go forward. What's he going to do here? There's a kiss if he tries to go forward. There's a double kiss on
here. Yeah.
He cannot go forward here. If he's thinking this is not going to work.
He'll be really lucky if this goes in.
I don't see how it can.
Like that.
It did. He missed the kiss.
Well done.
I didn't think he could get that far to that side.
The odds were not great.
Did he hit that with left English?
He may well have.
That with left English. Yeah, he must have.
It's a
that was a good shot there.
Comfortable win.
That was tricky. So after all that missing these simple ones, he makes one that's difficult.
Yeah, the one that you wouldn't have laid odds on it being good for the outshot, but it all ends up being an easy, comfortable win for Interchangex. So that's one match down.
Did loop it.
And then the next match tonight is Spudboy and Tommy at 7:30.
I'm not going to be there for that one.
I will be there for it. Now, Spudboy, if you're still there, right? Are you still there, Spudboy? Because I'm going to give you a bit of advice. I've already given you advice, but the other thing is don't make me frustrated. You know, I get frustrated watching players in particular, and Spudboy's one of them, because he's been around long enough at this game.
If there was ever a way to set yourself up, that's it.
He's been around long enough, and if he just, I'm going to be watching to see if he's following the little rule, see if he's thinking. If he's thinking and following the little rule, then he'll score something, and he'll keep them, and he'll keep in the game. You know, so no numptiness, Spudboy, or I'll tear you to shreds. That you've got advance warning. But good luck. Tommy's going to be a tough task against Tommy, because Tommy's he's German. We put 2 and 2 together. The Germans don't give you much in any kind of sport. They're grinders. They will battle. So you've got to be up for it, Spudboy, and at least make a match of it. I want to see you get a rack off him, and you can do that in Cowboy. If you keep your points, play sensible, you're in with a slim chance. But slim can become better if things don't go well for Tommy. Well, anyway, thanks to Steve. That's killed 2 hours that Tam doesn't want to get back. I'm going for dinner. I am starving. And I will see you all again later. And if not later, you can see it all again on YouTube. And I'll also be here tomorrow for some of these matches. Until then, we'll bid you good afternoon. And we'll see you again soon. See you later, Steve.
Yep. Good night, guys.
See you later.